Welcome to the It's Not Me, It's You podcast.
A space where we explore the questions couples often avoid in their relationships.
Not the easy ones, the uncomfortable ones that sit quietly under the surface.
Before we chat, a quick note. If you're somebody who finds these conversations helpful, but still notices the same patterns showing up in your life or relationships,
We've opened up a small number of private reflection sessions. Check the link for details.
also, just to say that there is no right and wrong here.
This is simply an opportunity for us and you to travel through the tougher questions that come up from time to time.
The ones we're often too afraid to ask. And if you've found your way here and you're enjoying the conversations, please subscribe, share the podcast, and turn on notifications.
So you don't miss future episodes. Also, feel free to drop your questions below.
And we'll do our best to explore them.
Now let's go.
When was the last time you felt truly seen by me?
Ooh,
I love that.
goodness
That's
me.
such a nice question. To feel truly seen, what does that mean to you?
When someone is capable of acknowledging all your attributes, whether it's the value
Mm-hmm.
you bring, your flaws or your perceived flaws, the bits about you that are a bit rough, and still care about you. You're leaving plates out every now and again, or that you made a mess over there and you raise it, but they still love you because they recognize it's not all that you are. You're more than that. That's really special, in my opinion. And that's what I've seen come up often with people I've worked with. They recognize that, I'm a mess at times.
Yeah.
I'm obnoxious, I'm tiring, I'm a drain, but I do my best to, give to this relationship. And we talk about percentages sometimes, 80-20, sometimes just showing up more than the other person, or you're capable of giving more of yourself to the relationship at different times. But whatever stage you're at, if someone can still love you, still be there, still be patient and kind, and see you and recognize that you're not intentionally trying to cause harm,
Right.
be disruptive, take advantage. It's just environmental, or you're still in the process of healing some stuff, and they're willing to just be patient and go, okay, this is where we're at, this is what's happening. I see you. And I see actually you're making efforts. Or not.
Or not.
But still love you and say, okay, what
Yeah.
are you going to do? This is where we are. Do you see it?
Yeah.
That, for me, encompasses what I would say, being seen is. But being seen is less about them and more about you.
Yes.
You feeling like they see you. Because sometimes the person might not see you, but you think you are seen.
Yeah, but
Because of
it's what it feels to you.
What it feels to you.
I feel seen. Yeah, absolutely. Because to me, it does mean eye contact or the questions and they're taking a genuine interest in what I'm doing. And it also might just be, I've had a really busy day at work and I come in and you make me a cup of coffee. Like, that is also a big signal that you've actually been seen and heard.
Acts of service.
Acts of service. Get me the coffee. I would say caffeine, but I don't drink the caffeine. It's always decaf. Otherwise, I'll be wired and not sleeping at all. But yeah, for me, feeling truly seen really just means that I can be myself completely, whichever version it is in that hour, day, week, and you're still there and we're still able to have a loving connection. And it's acceptance. For me, it's acceptance. That's what that says to me. And non-judgmental acceptance.
And then how do you deal with that element of it's my perception of feeling accepted? Because they may not accept you. But because they're taking the time to do things that signal to you acceptance, you feel, I feel accepted.
That's a great question. But then...
You don't have to answer it, by the way.
Yeah,
it's
just
putting it out to everyone.
Exactly, yeah. But then it's thinking about like how do you know the difference? And it's also what you will and won't accept and what you will and won't put up with. Because everyone's got a minimum, right? Everyone's got a bare minimum. Some people it's a lot lower than others. Some people it's a lot higher. where somebody can be given everything and I really want to see you and love you and all that, but yours is a different level and it's just always missing. So you always feel like you're not getting what you need in a relationship.
Without being too crude about it, some people are in relationships for the sexual intimacy. And because they think because for them, acceptance and being seen is having great intimacy, they feel fulfilled. That's all they need.
Right.
But actually, that person isn't really valuing them or giving them more beyond the physical connection. And so then does it matter that all you're getting is that, as long as you feel, that's all I need.
Yeah, well, in that case, like if that is all that you need, then that might also just be your intention. They also will have an intention. And again, it comes back to the questions. Unless you're having a deeper conversation, like what are we really doing? What do you want from this relationship? It's great physical intimacy because that also might be part of your love languages and that's what you want in someone. It might be coming from trauma, from a traumatic place, and that is your kind of like go-to position that actually isn't healthy anymore. But until you're able to accept that actually I need to maybe change things and have that conversation with my partner, like I need a bit more than this because it is just physical right now. There's no emotion there. It's all about your awareness and bearing in mind what your intention is, but then also what their intention might be. And if they're aligned, then fine. You might be happy to go forward. But if you're not aligned anymore, then it might be time to say goodbye.
And what's tying it back to the question, what's great about that is it allows the opportunity for you to create a definition for yourself around what being seen really is and ask how healthy it is.
And it can change. Being seen can change and what your intention is around it can change. And that is also what relationships are because they're moving all the time and changing because we change as we grow and have different life experiences and things. Are we building a life together or just maintaining one? That's a great question.
This is a great question because everyone has a different idea of like a sense of achievement and what the goals are for the relationship and for themselves. Some people are all bells and whistles. Let's go. We've got to be multimillionaires in the first year and have 5 kids and a dog and a cat and all this kind of stuff. And some people are just like, we're just happy, just us two going on holiday once a year. And that's it. That's all we need. But then being able to have that conversation about what that means, again, is so important. We were watching some really dodgy reality TV program, and this was a thing that came up. They were married, and one of them didn't like the job that the groom had, her husband had, because she felt that having that job meant he wasn't going to aspire to be any greater than he was. And he was like, you're talking about I'm a manager in this role.
Right.
And I'm on a good salary, which means I can do lots of things that I like to do.
Yeah.
And it wasn't enough for her. And so you start to wonder, well, where does that come from?
Right. She thought he was less than.
She thought he was less than.
And she thought she was more than, which means that dynamic is completely off. So you're never gonna be in a positive relationship because that person is always going to think that they're above that person. So you're not equals. You're not starting off on an equal footing.
Right. And it's a shame because that kind of thing could potentially harm the relationship where there's, the chance to have something great happen.
Yeah.
And it says more about the person than obviously the relationship.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And in her experience, that might come from a childhood of always constantly people pleasing, always having to do 100% at school and in tests and in sports days and all of those things because you have to be the best because that is how she received love as a child. And that just keeps playing out now, even though you're a 30-odd-year-old woman and you've got a high-paying job and you work in the city and you've got all this money. So you meet someone that isn't doing those things and you think that they may be less than and can compete with you and think that you're better than them.
Yeah.
You're not better, you're just in a different place. And that's okay. But it might not work in a relationship if you keep holding on to those ideas.
Well, this isn't a new thing. This has been going on for generations, for centuries, where people marry into families because it maintains a certain level of status and wealth and all kinds of stuff. And, you know, within that, we're seeing people unhappy, there's
Yeah.
divorces, there's affairs.
Mhm.
And then you think, well, where's the balance?
Mhm.
You know, what makes a relationship last? How do you maintain it?
Yeah.
You know, what builds it to a place that is right for you?
Mhm. And what is the difference with building and maintaining? Because can you do both? Can you build to a certain point and then maintain it and then want to build again? What does that mean to you? Like, ask yourselves those questions. We have built a great life. I'm actually tired now. Like, let's just stay here for a bit. Let's enjoy the life that we have. And then maybe we'll keep building by doing something different, traveling more, upgrading our lifestyle to some degree if that's what you want, like buying a new house or upgrading so that you can have another child and the space for you all as your family increases. What does that mean? Building versus maintaining?
You know, like
Because I think it's flexible.
absolutely. Working with business owners a lot, there's a focus on scaling. And so there's this connection here with like building, so like,
Yeah.
But then what's your number? Like, how do you know you've scaled it enough? When do you pause? Like, and then you go from just maybe a solopreneur to something that's much bigger and become a corporate entity and so
Right.
on. But maybe you don't want to be there. Maybe you just want a lifestyle business.
Yeah.
Because then you have so much more freedom and flexibility. Whereas if you just make a bit more money, it's just going to take it into a place that means more legislation and responsibility that you're just not really interested in.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, how much time do you even have? First of all, you don't know how much.
Exactly.
You don't know how long you're going to live for. And so do you want to spend it like under the weight of documents and meetings and boardrooms and
pressure, obligation. Yeah, absolutely.
We've put together a short guide with 50 questions couples avoid.
Let us know which ones really resonate and how you get on with them.
Everyone's relationship and situation is different, so have fun using them as a guide for getting your questions answered in your relationship.
And remember to ask yourself the same questions too.